Imagine in the room, which means to stand, or punyak with them, which means turn and face east. It's the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Barash Hayat, Shumka, Yahweh, Malakaka, Tabaa, Ratazaka, Hayat, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Hayat, Bashamayim, Nathunano, Lachom, Kalyawam, Wasalakano, Kowakino, Kasalakno, Kowakino, Wala'a, Tabiano, Walasawan, a ball, Hawashino, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Watapara, La Iwalumyum, Aman. The English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Prayer for the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, Babu Kusha, Nathunana, Hakka, Hakka, Larpa, Kal Machala, Ukamarawa, Hakka, Latahar, Hamatazariah, Hakka, Lahapu, Hamathu, Hakka, Aurakawa, Hatama Allah, like our son, Bashem Yahushua, the Wada Amun. The English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness, all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, power to raise the dead, power against unclean spirits, to cast them out in the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it. Psalms 121 in Hebrew. Ash'ayanya, Al-Hari, Mayan, Yabaa, Isaiah, Ma'an, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Waratza, Alithan, Amawat, Regalka, Ayinawum, Shemar, Hana, La'ah, Yanawum, Wala'ah, Yeshun, Shamar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shemarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Aliyah, Yamyanka, Yomum, Shemash, La'ah, Yakaka, Bayrak, Malayala, Yahweh, Yashamar, Makalra, Yashamar, Athapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Zadaka, Babuaka, Ma'aitha, Wa'adawalan. In the English, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalm 83 in the Hebrew. Allahayim, Al Damayalika, Al Harash, Wa Al Tashakwat, Al Kayahana, Oyabika, Yahamiwan, Orsanai, Ashaw, Raash, Alaimika, Yariyamwa, Swa, Wayathayatizwa, Azabawanika, Amaru, Lakawa, Wanakakira, Magoy, Wala'a, Yazakar, Shum Yasha'ala, Iwa, Kaya, the wife is Wa, Lab Yakadwa, Alika, Variath, Yaparathwa, Ahalia, Adawam, Washamali, Moa'aba, Wahagari, Gabal, Wa'aimawan, Wa'aimala, Pashat, Aim Yashabia, Tazawar, Gamashawar, Nalawa, Aimam, Hayawa, Zarwa, Labanulawat, Salah, Aishalahum, Kamadin, Kasayasara, Kayabin, Badhal, Koyashwan, Nashamadwa, Bayanda Ara, Hayawa, Gaman, Ladama, Shatumwa, Nariyamua, Ka'ira, Wakaza'aba, Wakazabah, Wakazazalmana, Kalasea Kumwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Berashah, Lanawa, Af, Nawaf, Alahayim, Alahayah, Shetumwa, Kagagala, Kakwash, Lapiraka, Kaash, Tabayra Ira, Wakalahaba, Lahat, Haryu, Kantaradapma, Basiraka, Basuapatka, Dabalum, Mala'a, Punyahu, Palawan, Webakwashwa, Shumka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Webahawa, Ida I, Wekaparwa, Weyabadwa, Weyadayu, Kaya, Ada, Shumka, Yahawa, Labadka, Aliwa, I'll call her Ratiza. In the English, keep not thou silence, O my power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O my power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembered. But they consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against it. The tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarites, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like a red, and like Zed. Yea, all their princes as Sabbath, and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of the Most High in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High over all the earth. Prayer for the power structure in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh. Wa Yahweh Shah. Wa Mayaka'ala. Wa Lahayim. Matazabia Alawap Yahana. Halawapi. Hashraya. Hakwatazayani. Hakayali. Wa Hagwati. Yahweh. Bashim Yahushah. What I meant. In English. Bless you, Yahweh. And Yahushah. And the angels. Commanding General Yahana. The generals. The captains. The officers. The troopers. And the sisters. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushah. Thank you. So be it. Prayer for the prophesied curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua. Listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel. They refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses, punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Posse Comitazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space program, the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street. Open up the internet, any airwaves, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plagues shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahushua, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahushua. Thank you always. So be it. And so face the front in your shavim, which means be seated. Let's keep this fire burning. And we're back here live in headquarters for another week of the Sabbath service, picking up where we left off last week. For those of y'all that usually tune into to One West online classes and join the Philly brothers, they're having technical problems this week. But shout out to them for always holding it down the way that only they can. We left off last week at 4. They're having technical problems this week, probably because of this storm. I don't know where everybody tuning in is at, but we just got snowed in last night and overnight. And because the white man is the devil, we can't just enjoy the snow. This is not fun time. This is not all the movies they put out with Frosty the Snowman, the kids playing in the snow. You know, I hope the kids out there playing in the snow, but if you're grown, you're miserable in this snow right now because you got to walk through it to get to work. Right. You got to dig yourself out of it. If you're here in New York, you got to climb over a hill of snow to get to the corner to wait for the bus that's never going to come. Right. To go to your slavery that you hate. We're in hell. And everything that we're supposed to be able to enjoy and look around and see a beautiful white snow landscape and just praise the Most High, it's miserable in this hell. It's just another sign of something. It just makes our day harder. So I hope wherever y'all at, y'all warm and not snowed in. And we're going to go into the Hebrew and pick it up here in Numbers, the 4th chapter. Right where we left off at Numbers 4 and 16. Numbers 4 and 16 in the Hebrew. Al-Kokodas, Al-Izar, Banaharan, Hakahan, Shimon, Hamawar, Al-Quadarath, Hasamyam, Omanchath, Hasamyad, Ashimon, Hamashka, Pakurath, Kala Mashikun, Bakal Ashar, Bawa, Bakurash, Obakaliwa, verse 17, Waidabar, Yahweh al-Mashah, Wa'ala Harun, La Amar, verse 18, Al-Dakaryathwa, Ashabat, Mashbakath, Hakwahathya, Maswat, Haloyim, verse 19, Wasa'ath, Aishua, Lahum, Wachaywa, Wala'a, Yamathwa, Bagashathum, Asquadash, Hakurashim, Aharun, Wabunywa, Yabawa, Washamwa, Althum, Ayashayash, Al Abadaswa, Wal Mashawa, verse 20, Wala'a Yabawa, Larawath, Kablai, Athakodash, Umathwa, verse 22, Wayadabar Yahweh al-Masah, La'amar, verse 22, Nasha'a Athrash, Bunya Garashwan, Gum Hum Labayath, Abathum, Lamashmachathum, And back to the English. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Yaquar, Sierra, Shara, Pastor Rowana. Hope I'm saying everybody's name right. Let's pull up Numbers 4 in the English. Numbers 4 and verse 16. And to the office of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, pertaineth the oil for the light, and the sweet incense, and the daily meat offering, and the anointing oil, and the oversight of all the tabernacle, and of all that therein is, in the sanctuary, and in the vessels thereof. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, Cut ye not off the tribe of the families of the Kohathites from among the Levites, but thus do unto them, that they may live and not die when they approach unto the most holy things. Aaron and his sons shall go in, and appoint them every one to his service and to his burden. But they shall not go in to see when the holy things are covered, lest they die. And so to catch up, so far in Numbers, we were arranged in tribe by tribes and numbered by the men 20 and up who were fit for battle. The Levites were then set aside and numbered in a different manner. If I recall right, from a month old and up, the Levites were numbered. And now in the 4th chapter, they continue to break down the duties of the Levites, who were tending to the holy things, tending to the tabernacle and the priesthood. And this is continuing to go. Now it's being divided by basically the tribes within the Levites. The sons of this Levite do this thing. Sons of this Levite are to do this thing, because everything in our culture is order, structure, rank, clarity. That's what that brings when you have order and structure and rank the way we have in the UPK. It brings clarity. Everybody knows what they're supposed to do. Everybody knows who they answer to, what their responsibilities are. And if you don't do it, you got to answer for it, because you can't say it wasn't on you. You can't blame nobody else. You can't say it wasn't on you. Your responsibility is clear. The line of who you answer to is clear. And that's how everything works perfectly. Verse 21, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Take also the sum of the sons of Gershon throughout the houses of their fathers by their families. So now we're going to jump back to the Hebrew. From 23. Mabun shalashim shana, Ma'ila, Ibun Chamashim shana, Dabquad, Aulam, Kal Haba, Latazaba, Zabah, La'ibad, Ibadah, Bahol, Mo'id, verse 24, Za'ath, Ibadaf, Mashvachath, Hagarashanya, La'ibad, Olam Shah, verse 25, Unashawa, Ath Yaryaith, Hamashkun, Wa'athahal, Mo'id, Makasawa, Omakasa, Hathachash, Ashar, Aliwa, Ma'ila, Ath, Masak, Patha, Hal, Mo'id, verse 26, Wa'ath Kwalaya, Hachatazar, Wa'ath Masak, Pathak, Sha'ir, Hachatazar, Ashar al Hamashkun, Wa'al Hamazbach, Sabiyab, Wa'ath Mayatharium, Wa'ath Kal Kalia, Abadathum, Wa'ath Kal Ashar, Ya'ishalahum, Wa'ibadwa, verse 27, Al Payah Haran, Wa'bunya Thahaya, Kal Abadath, Bunya Hagarashwan, Lakal Masha'am, Walakal Abadathum, Wapakwarathum, Alihum, Wamashamarth, Athkal Masha'am, verse 28. Za'ath, Abidath, Mashmachath, Bunya, Hagarshanya, Bahal Mo'aid, or Mashmarathum, Bayad, Ayathamar, Banaharun, Hakahun, verse 29. Bunya Moraria, Lamashmachathum, Labayath, Abathum, Dabquad, Athum, and back to the English, from verse 23. From 30 years old and upward, until 50 years old shalt thou number them. All that enter in to perform the service, to do the work in the tabernacle of the congregation. So now this is talking about the sons of Gershon. So now we're separating out tribes among the Levites to have different duties. Verse 24, this is the service of the families of the Gershonites, serve, and for burdens. And they shall bear the curtains of the tabernacle, and the tabernacle of the congregation, his covering, and the covering of the badger skins that is above upon it, and the hanging for the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the hangings of the court, and the hanging for the door of the gate of the court, which is by the tabernacle and by the altar round about, and their cords, and all the instruments of their service, and all that is made for them, so shall they serve. Because now remember, we're still in the wilderness. So as we move, this tabernacle is being taken down and put back up. We already saw it multiple times in Numbers, and we're only up to the 4th chapter. We already saw multiple times where it's mentioned as a death sentence if anybody comes near the priest while they're putting together the tabernacle. Because this is a holy and serious work. And so now you see how it's delegated among this group of the Levites has the responsibility of carrying the curtains and hanging them up. This group is going to have this responsibility. And that's beautiful. You look around in this society here, and the white man argues about every stupid little detail. They spend every day of every month of every year up in Congress and Senate and local Congress and local Senates and local city councils arguing about every stupid detail of how their government works. But this is clear. Forever, these people have this responsibility. Your sons and your sons and their sons are going to have this responsibility. That's how it works. Beautifully. Verse 27, at the appointment of Aaron and his sons shall be all the service of the sons of the Gershonites in all their burdens and in all their service, and ye shall appoint unto them in charge all their burdens. This is the service of the families of sons of Gershon in the tabernacle of the congregation, and their charge shall be under the hand of Ithamar, the son of Aaron the priest. Add some frankincense in here. Keep that burning. As for the sons of Merari, thou shalt number them after their families by the house of their fathers. Now we're going to jump back to the Hebrew. From verse 30. Abun shalashim shana, u'ma'ayla, wa'ayd bun hachmashim shana, dabakwadum, Kal haba atazabah la'ibad ibadath sahal mo'aid. Verse 31. Waza'ath mashmarath mash'am lakol ibadathum ba'hol mo'aid korasha hamashkan wabariyachua wa'aimawadua wa'adanyua. Verse 32. Wa'amawadya, Achatzar, Sabayab, Wa'adanyahum, Wa'ethadathum, Wa'mayathrayahum, Lakal, Kalyahum, Wa'lakal, Ibadathum, Wa'vashamath, Dabquadwa, Athkalia, Mashmarath, Masha'am, Za'ath Ibadath, Mashvachas, Bunya Moraria, Lakal, Ibadatham, Bahal, Mo'aid, Bayad, Ayathmar, Banaharan, Hakahan. Verse 34, Wayapaquad, Masha, Haran, Wanashaya, Aida, Ha'aida, Asbunya, Haquahathya, Mamashvachasam, Abayath, Walabayath, Abatham, verse 35, Mabun, Shalashim, Shana, Ma'ila, Wa'id, Bun Hamashim, Shana, Kal Haba, Latazba, Laibada, Ba'ahol, Mo'id, verse 36, Wayahayawa, Paquadium, Lamashvachatham, Alapium, Shabai, Mawath, Wachamashim, and back to the English from verse 30. From 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, shalt thou number them. Everyone that entereth into the service to do the work of the tabernacle of the congregation. And this is the charge of their burden, according to all their service in the tabernacle of the congregation, the boards of the tabernacle and the bars thereof, and the pillars thereof, and sockets thereof, and the pillars of the court round about, and their sockets and their pins and their cords, with all their instruments and with all their service. And by name ye shall reckon the instruments of the charge of their burden. This is the service of the families of the sons of Merari, according to all their service in the tabernacle of the congregation, under the hand of Ithamar the son of Aaron the priest. And Moses and Aaron and the chief of the congregation numbered the sons of the Kohathites after their families and after the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, everyone that entereth into the service for the work in the tabernacle of the congregation. And those that were numbered of them by their families were 2,750. And back to the Hebrew. So we got another section, another tribe, clan within the Levites and their duties. So now from verse 37, Allah Pakwadja, Mashvachatham, Haquahathya, Kal Ha'ibad, Ba'ahol, Mo'id Ashar, Paquad, Masha, Wa Haran, Al Paya, Yahweh Bayad, Masha. Verse 38, Wapaquadya, Bunya Garashwan, Lamashvachatham, Walabayath, Abatham. Verse 39, Mabun Shalashim Shana, Ma'ila, Wa'id, Bun Chamashim Shana, Kal Haba, Tazabah, Laibada, Bahol, Mo'id. Verse 40, Wayahayawa, Paquadium, Lamashvachatham, Labayath, Abatham, Alapiam, Washa, Mo'id, Ma'awad, Washalashim. Verse 41, Allah Pakwadya, Mashvachath, Bunya Garashwan, Kala Aibad, Bahol, Mo'id Ashar, Quad Masha, Wa Haran, Al Paya Yahweh. Verse 42, Pakwadya, Mashvachath, Bunya Moraria, Mashvachatham, Labayath, Abatham. Verse 43, Mabun Shalashim Shana, Ma'ila, Wa'id Bun Chamashim Shana, Kal Haba'ah, Latazbah, Laibada, Bahol, Mo'id. Back to the English from verse 37. These were they that were numbered of all the families of the Kohathites, all that might do service in the tabernacle of the congregation, which Moses and Aaron did number according to the commandment of the Lord by the hand of Moses. And though, because remember, everything that we're doing is by commandment. The way in which that we're numbering each tribe, the way in which the Levites were set aside to be numbered, it's all exact and all by instructions. And then there was a time when we were told not to number the people. And we did that, and we followed that instruction. And in one case, the instruction wasn't followed, and we was dealt with for that. Verse 40, even those that were numbered of them throughout their families by the house of their fathers were 2,630. These are they that were numbered of the families of the sons of Gershon, of all that might do service in the tabernacle of the congregation, whom Moses and Aaron did number according to the commandment of the Lord. And those that were numbered of the families of the sons of Merari throughout their families by the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward even unto 50 years old, everyone that entereth into the service for the work in the tabernacle of the congregation. And now we're going to jump back to the Hebrew from verse 44. Wayahaiwa, Quadjum, Lamashvachathum, Shalashas, Alapium, Wamaasim, verse 45, Alap Quadja, Mashvachath, Bunya Maraya, Sharpaquad, Masha, Waharun, Al Paya, Yahweh Bayad, Masha, 46, Kal Habaquadium, Ashar Baquad, Masha, Waharun, Manashaya, Yasha'ala, Athaloyum, Lamashvachathum, Walabias, Abathum, verse 47, Mabun Shalashim, Shana, Ma'ila, Wa'id, Bun, Kamashim Shana, Kal Haba'ah, La'ibad, Ibadath, Ibadah, Wa'idath, Mashaba, Ahol, Mo'id, 48, Wayahayawa, Baquadjahum, Shamanath, Alapium, Wachamash, Ma'wath, Washamanium, verse 49, Al Paya, Yahweh, Baquad, Al Thum, Bayad, Masha, Ayashayash, Al Ibadaswa, Wa'al, Mashawa, Baquadua, Ashar, Zawah, Yahweh, Af Masha, chapter 5 and verse 1, Wayadabar, Yahweh, Al Masha, La'amar. Back to the English from verse 44. Even those that were numbered of them after their families were 3,200. These be those that were numbered of the families of the sons of Merari, whom Moses and Aaron numbered according to the word of the Lord by the hand of Moses. All those that were numbered of the Levites, whom Moses and Aaron and the chief of Israel numbered after their families and after the house of their fathers, from 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old. Everyone that came to do the service of the ministry and the service of the burden in the tabernacle of the congregation, even those that were numbered of them, were 8,504 score. According to the commandment of the Lord, they were numbered by the hand of Moses, everyone according to his service and according to his burden. Thus were they numbered of him, as the Lord commanded Moses. And little reminders as we go that, you know, these counts are good reminders that the numbering in our culture is not exact. It's never meant to be exact. And it's one place where Esau trips up a lot when he tries to study scriptures and gets tripped up on, well, this says 7 years and this says 1,080 days, and this doesn't add up with this. And Esau will drive himself out of his mind trying to figure out why the numbers don't add up. But our numbers are never meant to be exact. This is an example. Unless you think that all of these basically census counts landed exactly on the even number, like 2,630. Unless you think that just magically happened. It wasn't exact. 2,630. Because it's not the way that we think. It's not the way that we vibe. We vibe like niggas. All right, it's 30 of y'all over there. It might be 30, 33, or 34. It's 30 of y'all. It might be 29. It's just because there's nothing really to gain from us knowing. Like, we don't need to know that there was 2,633. But if you know that there's 2,630, you can visualize the time, you can visualize everything. That's context. And that's what this is for. It's for a concept of what was going on. The same thing goes in prophecies. The numbers are for an idea of what's going to happen. You're not going to be able to count it on a calendar. If you try, you're going to end up in your basement with a pile of newspapers and 20 cats running around behind you, scratching off numbers on the wall, you're going to lose your mind because it's not designed that way. Was 49. According to the commandment of the Lord, they were numbered by the hand of Moses, everyone according to his service and according to his burden. Thus were they numbered of him, as the Lord commanded Moses. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, now we're going to go back to the Hebrew from chapter 5 and verse 2. Tazawath ban yasha'ala wa yashalachwa mun hamachana call Tazrawai, we'll call Zab, we'll call Tamah, Ladapash, verse 3. Mazakar, I, Nakubath, Dashlachwa, Al Machwataza, Lamachana, Dashalachwum, Wala'ah, Yatamawa Ath, Machanyahum, Ashar, Anya, Shakun, Bathwakam, verse 4. Why Aishwa Khan Ban Yasha'ala, why Yashalachwa, Al Thum, Amachwataza, Lamachana, Kashar, the bar, Yahweh al Masha, Khan Ashwa, Ban Yasha'ala, verse 5. Why the bar Yahweh al Masha, Amar, verse 6. The bar Ban Yasha'ala, Ayashawa, Asha, Kaya, Ishwa, Makal, Khata'af, Hadam, Lama'al, Ma'al, Bayahawa, Washma, Hanapash, Hawa'a, and verse 7. Wafuadwa, Ath Khata'athum, Bashar Ishwa, Washiyab, Ath Ashamwa, Barashwa, Wachamyashathwa, Yasak, Aliwa, Lathan, Lashar, Shamlawa, verse 8. Wa'amayun, La'ayash, Ga'al, La'ashiyab, Ha'asham, Aliwa, Ha'asham, Hamoshab, La'yahawa, La'kahan, Malabad, Al Kaparium, Ashar, Yakapar, Bawa, Aliwa. Back to the English. In verse 2. Command the children of Israel that they put out of the camp every leper and everyone that hath an issue, and whosoever is defiled by the dead. Both male and female shall ye put out. Without the camp shall ye put them, that they defile not their camps in the midst whereof I dwell. It's the same concept we have today. Our culture is about cleanliness and purity when you're around each other, when you're serving the Lord, when you're in the camp of the Most High. If not, you got to be separated from people. It's not that deep. It's not that hard, right? What does it say? Put out of the camp every leper. So if you got a disease, if you have an obvious disease that's showing up in your skin, changing colors, you put out the camp. If you have an issue, what does that mean? If you had sex and you emanate an issue from your body, if you're on your period and you issue, if you're sick and you got pus coming out of you, whatever your issue is, you put aside for the time that the Bible describes your uncleanness. And it's a reminder. I love going over this because when you actually read it, you understand that it's not a sin, right? Obviously you having sex, that's a normal, natural act the Most High created. That's a beautiful thing. But, keep it amongst you and your wife. Don't go out, to the congregation and you ain't even washed up and you just got stuff dried up on you and now you dapping brothers up. That's nasty. That's all it's saying. And if your woman is on her period, you just keep her to the side for a few days. They're the ones that get their feelings hurt. I promise you, sisters. I promise you, sisters. I promise you from the bottom of my heart. You don't have to be in your feelings about being unclean on your period. It's not something personal. You're not dirty. You're not, oh, I'm unclean. No, just take it. It's okay. Just be apart. Just stay to yourself for a few days. You'll be fine. You'll live. And so the lepers, the one that have an issue, and whosoever is defiled by the dead, because if you didn't learn during COVID, the dead bodies spread all types of diseases at great rapid rates. Then you just ain't paying attention. So if you're around a dead body, you got to stay aside until we know that you're not spreading whatever they had. That's all. It's not, it's that simple. It's not, you're not wrong. You didn't sin because you're unclean. You're just unclean. Verse 3. Both male and female shall you put out. Without the camp shall you put them, that they defile not their camps in the midst whereof I dwell. And the children of Israel did so and put them out without the camp, as the Lord spake unto Moses, so did the children of Israel. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, when a man or woman shall commit any sin that men commit, to do a trespass against the Lord, and that person be guilty, then they shall confess their sin which they have done, and he shall recompense his trespass with the principal thereof, and add unto it the fifth part thereof, and give it unto him against whom he hath trespassed. So this is just saying, if you violated your brother, you took something from him, you broke something to his, just restore it. Restore it and add a fifth part more. And what does it say here? It says that you sinned against the Lord, but you have to repay it to the person that you sinned against. So anything that you do wrong to your brother is a sin to the Lord. If you can remember, that's brotherhood in a nutshell. If you violate your brother, you're violating the Lord. What type of society do we live in? The exact opposite. Where people think they can do whatever as long as they can get away with it, they can do whatever they want to the next nigga. But God's watching this. And we're supposed to have a society where we care enough about each other to restore whatever you violated your brother with. That you feel some type of responsibility, some type of burden to pay back your brother if you harmed him, you did something, you caused him some loss. Verse 8. But if the man have no kinsman to recompense the trespass unto, let the trespass be recompensed unto the Lord, even to the priest, beside the ram of the atonement, whereby an atonement shall be made for him. So basically, if the man, let's say the man died and you owed him something, and he doesn't have any family, you bring whatever you owed him to the priest. So we're going to go back to the English. Verse 9. Wakal Tharama, Lakal Kodasha Ben Yash'ala Ashar, Yakurabu, Lakahan Loa, Yahaya, verse 10, Wayash, Asquadashua, Lawa, Yahaya Ayash Ashar, Yathan, Lakahan Loa, Yahaya, verse 11, Waydabar, Yahwa al Mashal, La Amar, verse 12, Dabar Ben Yash'ala, Wa Marath, Alahum, Ayashayash, Kaya Dashita, Ashaswa, Ma'ila Bawa Ma'al, verse 13, Washakab Ayash Shatha, Shakabath Zrai, Wan Ilam, Mayanya, Ayasha, Wanasathara, Wahaya, Natama, Wa'id, Ayun Ba, Wahawa, La'a, Natapasah, verse 14, Wa'aibar, Aliwa, Rakha, Quana, Wakuna, Athashathwa, Wahawa, Natama'a, Awa, Aibar, Aliwa, Rakha, Quana, Wakuna, Athashathwa, Wa'alaya, La'a, Natama'a, verse 15, Wa'aba'a, Wayash Ath Ashathwa, Athakahan, Waba'a Ath, Karbana, Alia, Aishurath, Hayapa, Kuma, Shariam, La'ad, Yatazak, Aliwa, Shaman, Wala'a, Yathun, Aliwa, Labana, Kaya, Manachath, Quinath, Hu'a, Manakath, Zakarwan, Mazakarath, I1, verse 16, Wa'akriyab, Atha, Hakahun, Wa'aimadah, Lapunya Hawa, verse 17, Walakwach, Hakahun, Mayum, Kwarashim, Bakalia, Karash, Waman, Ha'ipar, Ashar Yahaya, Bakorakwai, Hamashakun, Yakwa Hakahun, Nathan, Al Hamayum, verse 18, Wa'aimiyad, Hakahun, Ath, Hasha, Lapunya Hawa, Parai, Athrash, Hasha, Wanathan, Al, Kapia, Ath, Manachath, Hazakarwan, Manachath, Quanath, Hawa'ah, Wabayad, Hakahun, Yahawa, Maya, Hamarium, Hamararium, verse 19, Washabiai, Atha, Hakahun, Wa'amar, Al Ha'ashah, Amla'ah, Shakab, Ayash, Athak, Wa'am La'ah, Shayath, Tama'ah, Lachath, Ayashak, Hanakia, Mumya, Hamarium, Hamararium, Allah, verse 20, Wa'athkaya, Shmiyath, Tachath, Ayashak, Wakaya, Natama, Wayathan, Ayash, Ba'ath, Shagabathwa, Mabalidja, Ayashak, verse 21, Washabiai, Hakahun, Ath, Ha'asha, Washraith, Ha'allah, Wa'amar, Hakahun, La'asha, Yathun, Yahweh, Othak, La'allah, Al-Shabai, Bathwak, Amak, Bathath Yahweh, Ath Yurakath, Salakia, Uraka, Napalath, Wa'ath, Batanya, Kazabah, verse 22, Wabawa, Hamayum, Umararium, Allah, Ramayaka, Latzawath, Batun, Walanapal, Iraq, Wamara, Asha, Aman. We're going to go back to the English. Verse 9. Yeah, I went long a little bit. Verse 9, and every offering of all the holy things of the children of Israel, which they bring unto the priests, shall be his. Verse 10, and every man's hallowed thing shall be his. Whatsoever any man giveth the priest, it shall be his. So basically, the things that come from this law, where you got to restore something, but the person doesn't have any kinsman anymore, and you bring it to the priest, those things are now the priest. Verse 11, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, if any man's wife go aside and commit a trespass against him, and a man lie with her carnally, and it be hid from the eyes of her husband, and be kept close, and she be defiled, and there be no witness against her, neither she be taken with the matter. So this is describing a situation that brothers experience in this hell every day. Your woman went behind your back and cheated on you, but you have no way of proving it, but you sense that something's off. We had right in the law, Numbers 5, how you deal with that. Because as much as she thinks she can hide it, things like that, like the scripture says, everything done in the dark shall come to the light. Nothing like that is ever really hidden. And there's ways of bringing everything out to the light. But then, of course, on the other side, you might just be an overjealous dude. And you might have had bad experiences in your life, or you might have been watching too much TV, and you know she act a little different one day, and you think that she's doing something, but she's really not. How do you figure out the difference? This is what this whole rest of this chapter is for. Verse 14, and the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled. Or if the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be not defiled. So you might have that same spirit. She might actually be defiled. She might not. Let's find out. Verse 15. Then shall the man bring his wife unto the priest, and he shall bring her offering for her, the 10th part of an ephah of barley meal. He shall pour no oil upon it, nor put frankincense thereon, for it is an offering of jealousy, an offering of memorial, bringing iniquity to remembrance. So now the brother is bringing his woman to the priest, and he's bringing an offering to the priest, for the priest to do this service. Verse 16, and the priest shall bring her near and set her before the Lord. And the priest shall take holy water in an earthen vessel, and of the dust that is in the floor of the tabernacle, the priest shall take and put it into the water. So now the priest sweeping the floor of the tabernacle, takes up the sweepings and puts it into the water. And now in an earthen vessel, so a bowl made of clay. And the priest puts the sweepings into this water, mixes it up. Verse 18, and the priest shall set the woman before the Lord and uncover the woman's head, because again, we had modesty in our culture. So even the woman, by the way, some of these fake Israelite clowns be asking for precepts on a woman having her head covered and a man having his head uncovered. Here's one. This woman came to the priest with her head covered, and the priest had to uncover her head and put the offering of memorial in her hands, which is the jealousy offering. And the priest shall have in his hand the bitter water that causes the curse. So now the priest brings her in, uncovers her head, puts the offering, the bread that the brother brought, the ephah of barley meal, put that in her hands. And then the priest has in his hand the clay vessel with the water that he swept the tabernacle and put the sweepings into the water, right? Verse 19. And the priest shall charge her by an oath and say unto the woman, if no man have lain with thee, and if thou hast not gone aside to uncleanness with another instead of thy husband, be thou free from this bitter water that causeth the curse. And so now when the priest is doing that, this is trying her spirit. Because now the priest is in front of her. She's on the spot. The priest is basically grilling her. The priest is saying, if no man laid with you, you'll be fine. Verse 20, but if thou hast gone aside to another instead of thy husband, and if thou be defiled, and some man have lain with thee besides thine husband, then the priest shall charge the woman with an oath of cursing. And the priest shall say unto the woman, the Lord make thee a curse and an oath among thy people. When the Lord doth make thy thigh to rot and thy belly to swell, and this water that causeth the curse shall go in thy bowels to make thy belly to swell and thy thigh to rot. And the woman shall say, Amen, Amen. So now the woman's basically the priest is in this woman's face saying, look, if you didn't do anything, you'll be fine. if you did defile yourself with another man besides your husband, this water that you're about to drink is going to eat you up from the inside. You'll never bear any children. It's going to rot you from the inside out. And the woman's looking at him. She's got to say, let it be so. Let it be so. And so now we're going to go back to the Hebrew. And then, matter of fact, I got a clip pulled up that's going to break this down better than I ever could. So we're going to go back to the Hebrew real quick. Matter of fact, let's go hear General Muhammad break this down. Let's take a break before we go back to Hebrew and hear this.
Ground and set on fire. Right? Some people got before Christ, that's how they resolved that problem. Will you do it? A little more. Go ahead.
She shall be burnt with fire.
Yeah, that's how they resolved that problem a long time ago. Right? Before Christ, that problem, a whore was burned. I said earlier that there are different solutions to different crimes. Right? Some people got stoned. Some people got burned. A prostitute got burned. She was tied to a wooden stake in the ground and set on fire. Please, up front.
It's like it, sir. In the book of Numbers, the 5th chapter, what did it mean when I believe it was talking about a woman that was on trial for committing adultery? Like I believe the priest would give her something to drink, and there would be like a rottenness in her thighs if she was guilty, I believe.
Yeah.
What was that about, sir? If I could,
I'll explain it briefly. All right. Keep it down, Akim. All right. Focus in. So now in the Bible, there's the law of jealousy. If you want to look that up, that's what you find that under, the law of jealousy, right? Let's say you are a man who you don't have any proof that your wife is a whore, right, but you're suspicious. Right. It could be your own, insecurities, or it could be foundational. It could be something happening. You don't know about it. Well, there's a provision in the law for that kind of situation. The Lord said to take your wife down to the temple. The priest will sweep the temple floor, and they will combine the contents of the sweepings from the floor in a cup with water. And then they will have your wife drink the contents of the sweepings and the water. If she's fine and she does not throw it up, your wife is not a whore. Right. If she throws up the contents of the sweepings of the temple floor and the water, your wife is a whore. Right. And then you can divorce her and leave her. She's a slut. No, get that in hand. Now, the temple, Solomon's temple, is gone. Right? It was taken by the Romans, taken by the Babylonians, destroyed. Does that mean, now I'm trying not to give you this answer, what would you do now if you had suspicions that your wife was a whore? It could be your own insecurities, or that your insecurities could have a foundation. What would you do now?
Sweep the floors of the school?
No. That's a good way to get to COVID-19. Maybe she'll die from the COVID-19. No. Remember, I said the temple of Solomon is gone. It's gone. Right up front.
Bring it before the priest.
Give him a hand. See, the priests are still here. And that means the temple is still here.
That's right.
You know what happens? This is what happens. You bring your wife down to a council about her adultery, and you bring all of your cause for suspicion. And in that council, if she rejects it, then she's a whore.
Right.
If it stays in her, then she's not a whore. Do you understand? Because the temple is still here. It's still here. Everybody understands that.
If I could, just in real life, I've seen that such a scenario happen, and it's like an uproar. She trying to call everybody in the school about she this and he that. Yeah. But then when the council was time, she didn't show up.
as is common. But let me tell you what I've also seen happen. I've seen brothers out make an allegation against their wife in the council that she's a whore, and I've seen the sister step into it. Step into it with honor, and she swallows it down. You get the point. She doesn't reject it, and then that allegation is proven not to be true. Right. And I, of course, also have seen when she's called to the council, either she doesn't show at all or she completely rejects it during the council, and she can't help herself because she's a whore. Right. Everybody understands. All right, good to go.
What y'all just learned is the spirit of Numbers, the 5th chapter. The essence of Numbers, the 5th chapter is right there. The woman is being put on the spot, and we're finding out how she's going to take it. And that's how you find out if your woman is a whore, is adulterous. And that's the whole point of this whole process. Because so many men out, so many brothers going through this. You see it on social media. You hear stories every day. Brothers talk to you, somebody that you know, they go through the same thing and don't know how to handle it. And either her explanation is good enough, so he just takes it, but his suspicions are still there, and then the whole vibe is messed up. Or, the brother might be overly jealous and just make his woman, who's actually loyal, feel terrible the whole way. On both sides, this gets messed up because brothers in the world don't know how to handle this situation. But we had a process for this. No issues, whether it's between brothers, whether it's between husband and wife, are supposed to be kept to themselves in darkness. If you can't handle it, that's why the priests are here. That's why the men of the Lord is here. That's why this school is here today, to handle the situations that you can't handle between you and the brother, just between you and your wife. So back to the Hebrew, I'm going to finish this chapter from verse 23. Wakatha bas ha'alaf ha'kahan basapar umacha al-maya Amaryam, verse 24. Washakwa Asha Asmaya Amaryam Amarayam Waba'aba Amayam Amarayam Lamaryam, 25. Walkwach Hakahan Mayad Hasha As Manchas Akunath Wahanayap As Amalcha Lapunya Hawa Wakoryab Atha Al Hamazabach, verse 26. Wakumatiza Hakahan Man Hamancha As Hazakaratha Wakwatiyar Hamazakha Waachar Yashakwa As Asha Hamayum, verse 27. Washakwa As Hamayum Wayatha Hatzama Asama'al Ma'al Bayasha Waba'al Ba Hamayum Hamaryam Lamaryam. This is Batha Batana Wanapala Yarka Wayatha Ha'asha La'ala Wakurab Aima, verse 28. Wa'am La'a Natsama Ha'asha Samara Hawa'a Wanakotha Zerai, verse 29. Za'ath Darath Aquanath Ashad Dashata Asha Achath Ayasha Wanatamar, verse 30. Awa Ayash Ashar the Ibar Aliwa Rakha Quna'a Wakwana Athashathwa Haimayad Atha Asha Lapunya Hawa Washala Hakahan Athkal Hathawra Hazaath, verse 31, Wanakwa Hayash Maiwan Washa Tahawa Tasha Ath Awuna, and back to the English. Verse 23, and the priest shall write these curses in a book, and he shall blot them out with the bitter water, and he shall cause the woman to drink the bitter water that causeth the curse, and the water that causeth the curse shall enter into her and become bitter. Just remember, it's a whole process. After he's done grilling her, he writes down everything that he said is going to happen to her, and then dabs it with the bitter water, with the sweepings from the temple, and then he makes her drink the water, and the water goes into her. Verse 25, then the priest shall take the jealousy offering out of the woman's hand and shall wave the offering before the Lord and offer it upon the altar. And the priest shall take a handful of the offering, even the memorial thereof, and burn it upon the altar, and afterwards shall cause the woman to drink the water. And when he hath made her to drink the water, then it shall come to pass that if she be defiled and have done trespass against her husband, that the water that causeth her the curse shall enter into her and become bitter, and her belly shall swell, and her thighs shall rot, and the woman shall be a curse among her people. And if the woman be not defiled, but be clean, then she shall be free and shall conceive seed. This is the law of jealousies. When a wife goeth aside to another instead of her husband and is defiled, or when the spirit of jealousy cometh upon him, and he be jealous over his wife, and shall set the woman before the Lord, and the priest shall execute her all this law. Then shall the man be guiltless from iniquity, and this woman shall bear her iniquity. And that is the spirit of this. The essence of this is the fact that she has to come before the priest, before the Most High, and stand on her square and say, no, I didn't do this thing. I'm going to drink this. Yeah, whatever you say is going to happen to me, that's fine, because I know that I didn't do it. And a priest is going to be observing this whole thing as it happens. And that's what still can be done today. That's the right way to deal with this. Not to go on social media and complain about your ex from 2 years ago and the way that she acted funny and you bet she was doing this and that. It's not to berate your woman, because of every little different tendency that she has. This can be handled the proper way. Any issue that you have in your marriage, we know how to handle this in the Isupk. Any issue that you have in any type of relationship can be handled by the scriptures. And that's why every week I say something about some goofy fake Israelites, because we take this seriously in here. They're out there claiming to teach the same scriptures, but being their same carnal, worldly selves, or being some immature leader that just wants a title. And then people have these problems in their groups and don't get them solved because they don't know what they're doing. Because they have these scriptures and don't know what they're doing. Just like so many people around the world has these scriptures and has no idea what to do with them. But every answer is here in these scriptures. It's that plain and simple. So we're going to pick up next week where we left off. I module him up here. Shakar, which means horn. Yeah, young, which means wine. La Yasha'ala, which means to Israel. Imagine in the room. So I'll point out the dome, which means stand, turn, and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabashamaya, Padashaya, Shumka, Yahweh, Malakuka, Daba'a, Ratazak, Haya, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashamaya, the Funana, Lakam, Kaliwa, Wasalakuna, Kawakuna, Kasalakuna, Kawakina, Wala'a, Dabayana, Manasay one, a ball, Hawashanu, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wathapara, La'aiwa, Aman. The English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'a ayani, al-hahari, ma'ayani, yaba'a, Izari, ma'ayin, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemaya, Waratiza, Aliathan, Lamawat, Regal, Alianawam, Shamar, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, La'a, Yashan, Shamar, Yasha'al, Yahweh, Shamar, Yahweh, Tizak, Aliyah, Yamyunka, Yalmum, Hashemash, La'a, Yakaka, Werak, Malayala, Yahweh, Yashamar, Wakal Ra, Yashamar, Asnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Kazak, Obaak, Ma'aita, Wa'ida Walam. The English. I will lift up mine eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Al Damayalika, Al Harash, Wa Al Tashakwat, Allah, Kayahana, Awayabi, Yahamiwa, Wamashanaya, Nashau, Ra'ash, Al Aimaka, Yariyumu, Sawa, Waithayatizwa, Al Tazapawanyika, Amaru, Lakau, Wanakakir, Magoy, Wala'a, Yazakar, Shum Yasha'ala, Iwad, Kaya, the wise is a wild, Lab Yakadu, Ali, Bariyah, Yakarathwa, Ahalia, Adawam, Washamalia, Moab, Wahagari, Gabal, Wa'aimuan, Wa'aimalak, Fleshat, Aimyashabia, Tazawar, Gamashawar, Nalawa, Ayman, Hayawa, Zarawad, Labunyalawat, Salah, Aishalaham, Kamadi, Kasayasara, Kayabi, Barakal, Koyashwan, Nashamadu, Vayanda Ar, Hayawa, Daman, La Daman, Shatamwa, Nadiyamur, Kaira, Wakazaaba, Wakazaba, Wakazalmana, Kal Nasayakumwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Nerashah, Lanawa, Ah, Nawa, Alahayim, Alahayah, Shatamwa, Kagogala, Kakwash, Lapunyaraka, Kaash, Tabaria Ira, Wakalahaba, Dalahat, Harya, Kondoradak, Basiraka, Basopaka, Dabahalam, Mala'a, Punyaham, Kuala Wayabakwashwa, Shumka, Yahweh, Yabashwa, Wayabahawa, Ai, Wayahaparwa, Wayabadwa, Wayadaiwa, Kaya, Atha, Shumka, Yahweh, Labadka, Alion, I'll call Ha'arataza. In English, keep not thou silence, O my power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O my power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against you, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarites, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah, do unto them, as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like a red, and like Zed, yea, all their princes at Zabah, and at Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of the Most High in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempests, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their face with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High over all the earth. Prayer for the power structure in Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh. Wa Yahweh Shah. Wa Mayak Allah. Wa Lahai. Matazabi Alawat Yahan. Halawat. Hashran. Hakwatziyan. Hachayal. Wahakwafi. Yahweh. Bashim Yahweh Shah. The water Amen. Bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shah, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yohanan, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and assistants, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah. Thank you. So be it. Prayer for the prophesied curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations, their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, the Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Posse Comitatus, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space program, the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street. Open up the internet and the airwaves, the cable access channels, the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way, try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plagues shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh Shah, Michael and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh Shah. Thank you always. So be it. So I face the front. We're going to give one courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Imajim Sabbath, Imajim Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakathon, Yazamatah. That concludes the Sabbath service. We're going to pick it up next week in Numbers 6 and 1. Shout out to Philly. Lord willing, they'll be back on the main channel next week. Shalom.